Hey kids, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. We're talking comic books again today. This is Captain America number 258. It is not a key comic, not even a minor key comic. I guess you could say it's off key. But I got it recently in a run, a small run of comics from this period, which do have some pretty interesting stories in them, reintroducing a major villain who'd been absent for a little bit. There's an absolutely wild story involving Spider-Man, Nick Fury, and Cap. But this one stuck out to me a little bit, and I kind of wanted to delve into it with folks and read through it because I think it's an example of what the monthly format could do with one shots. Sometimes you'd get filler issues. They would be done sort of ahead of time because you had an artist maybe working who was taking too long and sometimes had missed deadlines, so they'd have something sort of on file that they could bring out and publish. And these would be kind of odd little one-shot stories that wouldn't necessarily sync up with the continuity at the time, because obviously they didn't know when they were going to need to use them. So this isn't one of those, but this is one that's sort of it's a lull between major storylines. So it's called Blasted by Blockbuster, and we're not talking about the video store chain. Of course, if you really want to enjoy these old comics, you gotta look at the ads. You Are Earth's Only Hope. Attack of the Mutants by Yakinto Publications. If you delve into my channel a while back, you will find a video, I think, called Soaps and Strategy that looks at a couple soap opera-based board games, one of them being by Yakinto Publications, that being Dallas. Awesome game, by the way. Go check out the video. So this one opens with Captain America. Oh, I should throw this down. Written by Chris Claremont, so it's going to be a cut above. I guess he did some scripting. Also, David Michelini. Mike Zeck is the artist. Novak on letters. Sharon and I think it says Slifer is colorist. Jim Salicrup editor. Jim Shooter editor-in-chief. This is from June of 1981. So this is before I started collecting comics. Boy, what would I have been? Around 10 years old when this came out. And we open with Steve Rogers and with his paramour of the time, named and I'm losing her last name, Bernie, obviously short for Bernadette. Here we go, Bernadette Rosenthal. And they're out dancing and having a good time. They're on a date. This is a time in Steve Rogers' life where he's getting to enjoy his life a little bit while he's being a superhero in New York, but there's evil afoot. A man is pouring out perfectly good gasoline in a building. What a waste. Wait, I see. He's throwing a match. Oh, it's even worse than that. So this is an arsonist. He sets a building on fire. Captain America sees it. And that means the date's over. We got an ad for Lifesavers. Lots of fun and flavors. And you know what? That is correct. I keep some Lifesavers on my desk at work. So, yeah, nice. This is an issue, great art, and like I said, well written. So Steve says, well, I got to go see if I can help. He changes into Captain America on the way up the stairs. He vaults over into a window of the building. There's some people in there, and he's trying to get them out. In the meantime, the fire department shows up, and they're ready to roll. But the Cap here is not real happy that that Captain America is on the scene. Cripes, righteous amateurs are the last thing we need. I'll keep an eye open for him. Well, of course, he doesn't know it's Captain America at this point, so he just knows Steve Rogers might be there. I'll keep an eye open for him, Bernie, but if he's hiding anywhere inside that building, he's in trouble. Now, this happens to be a friend of Bernadette's. He lives in the same building with him. Whoops, skipped a page. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This ad is burned into the minds of everyone who wrote comic books back in these days. Burned into our minds. You saw it in everything. Dragon poster, huge dragon poster. Nice. 21 inches high, 38 inches wide. Color it yourself or leave it black and white. Sent rolled in a protective tube. You can get some live seahorses. You can learn law enforcement, self-defense. What can't you do? Bubble Yum. I remember it well. We also had, let's see, Bubble Yum, Bubblelicious, Hubba Bubba. That was another one. So Cap is trying to get people out of there as the firemen arrive. And while he's protecting these people, he gets hit by some falling debris, and his goes kind of blurry. He's kind of stunned. Fireman grabs him, gets into this box just as blam, everything goes. And that fireman does not survive. So, I mean, this is obviously kind of a big deal here for Captain America. You know, he's there trying to be a hero, trying to save people, and he did. But another hero has lost his life, and he looks kind of stunned, like he doesn't quite know how to deal with it. Nice art. Grit. If you want to make a little extra money, you can sell Grit. Now, my wife actually got me, as a joke, a subscription to Grit. Oh, Lord, it must have been a decade ago or so. Because I'd always talk about it being in these comic books. It was, it wasn't great. I don't know if it's still around, but it might be. If it was around a decade ago, it might be around now. So meantime, the arsonist hooks up with the guy who's paying him to burn down some buildings. They got a real estate deal cooking. And in comic books and television, nobody ever just, buys real estate and assembles several parcels. If it sounds like I work in real estate, I do. Legally. It always involves having to hire strong-arm people to burn things down or beat up people. You'd be surprised to learn that the vast majority of commercial real estate and land and residential is really not that hard to buy. People do it all the time without killing anyone. So he needs more work done, and this guy he's hired is kind of cocky. So the Mike Farrell, no, not the guy from MASH, is the fireman we showed earlier. He arrives at the apartment building all these folks live in. He's pretty down, and they're trying to cheer him up with some dinner, but it's hard, man. He's lost a brother, and it's a hard thing to go through. And he reveals that it was arson. He says Sam Douglas was as good as murdered. And so again, it's all down to real estate developers who surprisingly kill a lot fewer people in real life than in stories. But now Captain America's like, okay, this is personal. I'm taking this guy down. So we're not talking about Cap fighting the Red Skull, Doctor Doom, Hydra, anything like that. This is more street level Cap. He's going after an arsonist, and obviously he would go after a criminal because he's a hero and that's what he does. But this one is more personal. So he goes out on patrol, and he runs into this arsonist, who now has a suit of powered armor as the Blockbuster. And so he goes toe to toe with this guy with some great art by Zeck. Really nice work. Oops, special announcement for Marvel Comics and Toys R Us. Hearken ye, Marvelites, one and all, presenting the winners in Mighty Marvel's Win Yourself a Toys R Us Shopping Spree sweepstakes. Oh, I would have been down for that. Boy, howdy. Who won? Sean McDonald from Sacramento, California. Sean McDonald, if you're out there, and given the vast audience that I have, I'm sure you are. God bless you. Yeah, oh, they list all these names. That's great. It's actually fun to sort of look some of those people up and see if you can find them. I'm looking to see if there's anybody. Let's see. There's a few Arizona names in there. Some Californians. So Cap goes to war with this guy, ends up thrown through the roof of a warehouse. And this guy's definitely getting the better of him. But Cap, he's pretty smart. This is a guy that kicked Hitler in the face. He knows what he's doing. Oop, an important announcement to all new subscribers. And I'll tell you, this is funny, but you read even newer floppies, and you should be thrilled that there's not all these ads, and yet it kind of makes me sad that there aren't. I love these ads. They do take you back. So, important announcement to all new subscribers. A special savings check to all new subscribers. You see this down here. These are all the books. And I know this is probably not coming through as clear as I'd like it to. But let's see. This is what Marvel was publishing in 1981. We got Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Captain America, Conan, Daredevil, Dazzler, The Defenders, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, Kazar, Marvel Premiere, Marvel Tales, Marvel Team Up, one of my favorites, Marvel 2-in-1, another one of my favorites, Master of Kung Fu, Micronauts, that's a great one, Moon Knight, Peter Parker, which would be Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man, Power Man, Iron Fist, Rom, the Space Knight, Savage She-Hulk, Spider-Woman, Spidey Super Stories, those would be kind of based on the Electric Company version of Spider-Man, Star Trek, Star Wars, wow, they had Trek and Wars, Thor, X-Men, and What If, which is double-sized. That is not a bad group of magazines, and if I could go back in time, I would probably subscribe to every single one of them. And we get more crazy ads. Are you too skinny? We can make you more muscular. There's Atlas. Oh, learn to play guitar. Be a slam dunker. Free comic list. Oh, wow, thanks. Tropical fish plants and supplies. So what Cap does is he kind of gets this guy in close, and the guy's like, good, I got you, with my strength boosters, I'm going to, snap your spine. And he's like, well, on the contrary, Blockbuster, the surprise is on you. I figured that your backpack was the energy source for your powers, but the only way to take it out was to get close, real close. Or maybe throw my shield from far away, which usually I can bounce off. Anyways, about as close as your bear hug just brought me. So he uses the shield to take out the energy source, and now this guy is more or less paralyzed. Fire department has shown up for this warehouse fire as those two are fighting. He gets the guy out, and the guy, Cap's kind of coughing, got smoke inhalation. The dude pulls a gun. He's going to kill Cap. Boom, Mike Farrell opens up a hose on the guy, knocks him down, knocks him out. And they catch him. And Mike Farrell wants to kill the guy, and I can't blame him. And then we have one of the absolute classics of this age of comics. We have the Hostess ad. This one with Iron Man, who is, there's giant mechanical rhinos the military can't take out. And so Iron Man has to come to the rescue with Hostess Twinkies. And I always love that they say, let's see, we couldn't resist this golden sponge cake and the delicious creamed filling. Creamed filling. What the heck does that mean? Why wouldn't you say cream filling unless technically it was illegal for you to do so? I had a lot of Twinkies back in the day. I don't know. Could explain a lot about me. So the arson ring is busted, and that's the end of the story. So why do I like this story? Well, it's well written. which is a real plus. It's good. It's a solid story. It's not spectacular. It's not earth shattering. The cosmos is not being threatened, but it is Cap being a hero. It has it's well written characters. You're seeing into their emotional lives. It's from a period that I really dig. Where Cap is working as a comic book artist, even doing some work for Marvel, and he has this romance with Bernie, and it's a moment where he's getting to be a human being. We get a lot of Cap, the living legend, with his larger than life, everything. But what you got with a lot of stuff in this period was Cap as a human being, as a real person. There's an issue, maybe one or two after this, where he gets up early and puts on the Captain America, or no, actually, I think he doesn't put on the uniform. Gets up early, he goes walking, he gets to the Avengers mansion where he's going to do some training. And Jarvis asks, he says, you could stay here at the mansion. I'm sure, Mr. Stark would have no problem with that. He says, no, I'm trying to enjoy the freedoms that I fight to defend as a normal person. I don't want to be Captain America all the time. And I love that. And so with stories like these, where the action is not as dense and the stakes are not quite as high, you get to have a little more character development, which I think is important. And I think it was a big key to the success of this time, that you didn't just like the characters in costume, you liked the characters out of costume as well. They were people. It allowed you, the reader, to maybe to empathize with them a little bit. Spider-Man and Peter Parker, with all Peter Parker's problems, you could relate to it. You can't quite relate to him fighting Dr. Octopus, but you can definitely relate to him going through all the problems he is. And so with Marvel at this time, when it was written really well, you got both sides of the characters, and this is where you get that side of Captain America. Chris Claremont could do this stuff so well. So there we go. Then we get to the letters to the living legend. We're not going to read those letters, but we do get a Mighty Marvel checklist for that month. Let's see what we got. Marvel 2-in-1. That's Giant Man and Iceman. Yeah, once in a while. Okay, it's both of them with the Thing. Yeah, sometimes Marvel 2-in-1 had the Human Torch paired with people, but this one has Giant Man and the Iceman joining the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. Spider-Woman number 38, guest starring the Uncanny X-Men. Cool. We got Star Trek 14, Daredevil 171, DD versus the Kingpin. Marvel Superheroes number 98. Those are reprints. That's a reprint of Old Hulk. Oh, Dazzler number 4, the final battle with Doctor Doom, plus Nightmare. Kazar number 3, King Conan number 6. Spider-Man 217, Spider-Man and Hydro Man team up and attack. Captain America 258, that's one we just looked at. Thor number 308, Loki and Carmilla attack New York. Got Micronaut. Ghost Rider 57, Enter the Apparition. Savage She-Hulk number 17. I got almost an entire run of those Savage She-Hulks. This one, Make Way for the Man-Elephant. I actually don't have 17. Yeah, that's one of the ones I need. We got Moon Knight number 8. Moon Knight Goes Mad. Doctor Strange. Incredible Hulk. Showdown in Japan with Glenn Talbot. Avengers number 208. The Mad Menace of the Eternal Warrior, called the Berserker. I got that one actually not that long ago. Conan 123. Boy, Conan took off more than I think anybody thought it was going to. Really did. Rom, Power Man, Iron Fist, Cage and the Fist, hot on the trail of drug smugglers. Fantastic Four, what do we got there? Stiglax blasts the Baxter building into the negative zone. Oh, this is also awesome. Oh, Spidey and Cap in Marvel Team Up number 106. Iron Man, A Crisis Called Blacklash. Peter Parker number 55, The Menace of Is it Nitro? Nitro, the Exploding Man. Defenders, love Defend. Oh, Defenders are teaming up with Ghost Rider. At the Mercy of the Six-Fingered Hand. Star Wars, Leia and Vader play a strange game of power, propaganda, and death. Which sounds better than any recent Star Wars movie that's been made, let's be honest. Master of Kung Fu. Sergeant Fury, number 164. I didn't care for the Sergeant Furies that much. I gotta be honest, I didn't. I got a few not too long back, and Sergeant Rock was the superior book. We get more comic book ads. We get Olympic, earn famous name prizes or cash by selling crap to people, and they'll never want to see you again. And on the back, the classic 100-piece toy soldier. I wanted this so bad when I was a kid because I loved Army Men. That sounds like something to clip. Let me revise that. I loved little green plastic Army Men. And, oh my God, this is like 100 of them. This is going to be awesome. And then you find out later, and I never did get it, but you find out later that the Army Men in question are like flat. They're tiny. Oh, terrible. So anyways, let's wrap this up with Captain America number 258. A great little one-shot, single-issue story that you get to really see some nice character work by Claremont, some beautiful art by Mike Zeck. You know, even the comics that aren't key issues from this time period, I think, are worth getting and worth reading. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. In the meantime, I'm going to call it quits today. I hope that you have a blessed day. I hope you're kind to everybody out there that you can be kind to. And I hope you have some fun. And I'll see you next time around in Dad's Den of Pop Culture.